It's time to ditch PowerPoint. Canva Presentations is offline and it has changed the game for speakers. This new feature has sealed the deal for me. I'll never go back. And I say that as someone who has been speaking for over 2 decades around the world and putting up with PowerPoint and its clunky ways. I now exclusively use Canva Presentations for keynote speaking to workshops and everything in between, from webinars to summits. Here's me at a conference convincing the AV team that Canva Presentations is a better experience and it's time to move out of the dark ages. I'm Donna Moritz, a Canva verified expert, keynote speaker and certified Canva trainer. So I spend a lot of time using Canva Presentations. And to be fair to the AV team I just mentioned, they had a point. What if Wi-Fi goes down when you're presenting with Canva? Look, I've never had that happen and usually conferences have decent Wi-Fi or they've hardwired me in. The risk is low that your Wi-Fi will go down, but it was a roadblock to people switching to Canva Presentations until now. Because Canva Prezos, yes, that's Aussie for Canva Presentations, can now be presented in offline mode. You can create wherever inspiration strikes, whether you're in the air on a plane without Wi-Fi or the power goes out and you're working off your laptop. You can still do basic edits on your presentation and present offline too. Before I show you how to go offline, a quick recap. Canva Presentations are packed with so many features. You'll get access to thousands of quality templates, so it's easy to choose one that suits your project. Then click Customize the template and edit it. Then easily add transitions between individual slides or the whole deck. Animations can happen in a few clicks. You can animate an element, a page, or the entire deck. Canva has loads of preset animations to choose from. When you're ready, present on the go from anywhere in the world, on any browser or even your mobile. And you can control slides with your mobile phone. There's so much to explore with Canva Presentations. Record yourself and your screen, engage your audience with polls and quizzes, use presenter notes when you present, and add fun shortcuts like this and this and this. So many awesome features, and now we have Canva Offline. It makes designs available offline so we can keep designing anywhere, even with unstable Wi-Fi. And this is a much awaited feature that was released at Canva Create in April 2026. The good news is it's free for every Canva user, so anyone with unstable internet around the world can use this. Many presentation features are free, but if you want to access premium presentation templates, use my link on the screen for a free trial of Canva Pro. You'll also get access to more AI features like background remover, advanced animation tools, and more. But for offline itself, it's free for everyone, which is very cool. So, how do you go offline? Well, Canva Offline lets you make specific designs available offline without internet, and it does this by essentially saving the document to your device, and you can then open it and do basic edits on it while offline. When your connection comes back on, your edits are synced automatically. It's important you make your documents available offline before you actually go offline. So you can see here I have a number of documents already set as being available offline. I've been working on them for various projects, so I wanted to have that backup. To make a new document available offline, select the document in your projects, then go to the 3-dot menu and choose Make Available Offline. Then it will take a moment to render depending on how large the document is. When it's ready, you'll see a little pop-up at the top of the screen saying Design Available Offline, and you can click that to view all. Now I'll see all the designs that are available for me to use offline. I'm still online at the moment, but this is just showing me what is available. At this time, you can only have up to 10 documents available offline concurrently, so choose them carefully. In this case, it's a presentation that I made offline so I could take it on the plane over to LA before I was presenting it at Canva Create. So I could go in, make changes to my presenter notes, run through my presentation on the plane and watch a few movies. You can also go to File and change it to be offline here. In this case, I've already got it offline, but you can also remove offline availability if you need to make space for other documents. Next, let's turn off the Wi-Fi and show you how it looks when you're actually offline. Canva immediately states that you're offline and grays out a number of features. Now, what can you do with Canva Offline and what limitations are there? Canva immediately defaults to showing me what is available offline. And as you can see, a number of things are not available, like print shop. I can't use my brand kit or brand elements, unfortunately. I hope that's coming. And templates are actually not available. So anything in the Canva library, bar a few elements which I'll show you, are not available offline. So you can see here a lot of things are grayed out, but I can access in my projects the documents that I've made available offline. So it's important that you set those. Now, I'm going into this presentation template because I want to show you what is available when you're offline. Now, I did this for a training, so we actually have a dummy brand kit in here. This is for free users of Canva. So some of these elements in here I can use. If I go to the Canva element library, I actually am pretty restricted, although I can still use things like shapes, charts, tables, and grids, which is pretty handy. So anything that's on this document, I can actually use and reuse, which is pretty cool. I can use the logos, I can use the fonts and the images. So everything's kind of set up for an emergency where it goes offline in this case. So if you have documents that have those elements there, that's really handy. This template was made for workshop attendees so that they could use a brand board with a fake brand and then edit the presentation. Now, because I'm offline and all those elements are on the presentation, I can go in and edit the text, and I can do things like use photos or elements that are already on this presentation, even offline. I can upload photos, but I can't access any of my already uploaded photos. But a workaround is that if I have photos in the document ready to go, and I think I might be going offline, I can then use them to continue designing in a basic way. So let's see if I can take this image here just from my image collection and copy it, paste it onto a different page, and then I can actually drag it in to the frame. I've also included some frames on the brand board, so you could continue to add some extra pages, add some frames, and continue designing this while it's offline. You can see here I can change the body text. So everything is pretty editable. I mean, I don't have access to everything, but I do have access to things like transitions. I can set up my transitions on the presentation. And basically we can do a lot of the features and editing that we love in presentations, just not the AI and the main library elements. Now, if I go to the Edit tab in the toolbar, I have some functionality here too. I can use all of the filters and effects that I want to use to edit my photos. So that's really handy. You'll notice though that I'm not able to use things like the AI features like background remover, which makes sense because AI doesn't work well offline. But I can still use things like shadows and some of these effects that are pretty cool considering that I am offline. So you can go in and play around with those too. So there's a lot that you can do. You can also come in here and do things like change the adjust function. So you can come in and look at temperature and brightness and contrast. So you can make a lot of edits when you're offline. There's plenty that you can do. Just bear in mind you can't use AI and you definitely can't get access to the full element library. Saying that, you can do things like use the draw tool. We'll give this guy a bit of a wonky crown. And I just want to highlight what happens with text. So let's add a heading and we'll go up into the font tab in the toolbar. And you can see here I have a limited number of fonts from the library. Canva is only giving me those that are already in my document. So make sure you have those in the document if you think you're going to want to work on it offline. You can see here I have my bricolage grotesque font as well as I believe it's Helvetica World and a couple of others that are already in this document. So that's just something to keep in mind. Lastly, for all the speakers out there, the good news is that you can click on any slide and add speaker notes, which is great if you want to make those last minute changes to your presentation, or maybe you're thousands of feet in the air on a plane and you want to work through and make some edits. So that is really handy as well. And finally, don't forget to add that final flair to your presentation. Yes, you can animate while offline. Most of the animation features that don't involve AI are available while you're offline, which means you can go through and make all your finishing touches to your presentation, which is very, very cool. All in all, there's quite a bit that you can do while you're offline. So you're all set to go, but what happens if things go down and you need to present offline? This is the part that I love for speakers. I've enabled offline mode, so all that Canva is giving me access to again is my documents that have offline mode enabled. I'm opening up my presentation from scratch just to show you how this takes a little bit longer. This is sped up by double time, so it's still taking a little while to open everything and add all the elements because we're not in full Canva, we're pulling it in from my device, but it's not too bad. As you can see, I've added some notes to this presentation because I want to show you how this looks in presenter view. To present, you just need to go to present like you normally would. I'm going to choose presenter view. You can just go straight to full screen if that's what you prefer. But as you can see, I get the audience window pop up as usual, as well as the presenter view window. And I can see all of my notes and everything like I normally would if I was online. So I might just reduce the size here just to make this a little bit easier to read. But as you can see, my notes for each of these pages have carried over and I'm ready to go. So if the Wi-Fi was to go down, I can start presenting. I may need to refresh and open up the document again if there's a little bit of, tech issues, but ultimately I'm able to open this up and present it. Now this is what it looks like on full screen. You can see everything is presenting okay. It was a little bit laggy on my computer. I'm not sure if that's because it's pulling it in for the first time, but it did speed up the second time I ran it through. But as you can see, the slides are all presenting fine with the animations. Happy days. And just a few hot tips to finish with. I recommend you have a few documents set as being available offline based on the current projects you're working with, and ensure that you have elements in those documents that allow you to go offline and continue designing. Another thing to consider if you're a speaker is that if you do have to use your presentation offline, embedded videos won't play. If it's a really important event, have a version of your presentation that's pretty clean without embedded videos. You can have a video added from your device, but just make sure that everything would play offline. So when you are preparing for the presentation, go in, test everything in the presentation on an offline version. So if you do have an incident happen, a Wi-Fi incident, you can quickly convert to the offline version and still present. And lastly, just choose the 10 most important docs that you want to have offline. For me, it's not always 10 docs. It might be 4 or 5 that I just am using currently, but it's a good thing to work into your workflow that you'll just sort of check every week. Okay, which documents do I want offline? If I do lose power or I do lose Wi-Fi, what can I continue working on? And it's not just presentations that you can use in offline mode. As you can see, it's social media graphics like the carousel on the screen, right through to things like Canva docs or reports or whiteboards for adding sticky notes and basic shapes, or even just basic print designs. Anything where you can edit with the elements already in the design. And just remember, there are limitations. So if I had one wish list Canva, it would be that you let us access our brand kit in some format so that we can access some of our brand elements offline. Hey, a girl's got to ask. If you're a speaker and you haven't yet ditched PowerPoint, go to canva.com/presentations and find out all you need to know about why you should be considering switching to Canva Presentations. Want to take Canva Pro for a spin? Use the link on the screen or in the description to do a 30-day trial. If you like this video, please subscribe. It helps me create more content for you. And don't forget to check out the next video on the screen to keep making amazing visuals with Canva. Stay creative.